Hi, this is Tim and Karen Titus from Stampin' on the Back Porch, and we're doing a podcast about creativity, paper crafting, and life.
So my mom turned 96 this month. A couple of years ago, she needed to move into a nursing home because of mobility issues. She's very clear thinking, but her legs just couldn't get her to her walker and up and down. So,
And she's the first person in her family to make it to 96.
yeah, she is. That's true. So she's outlived all the relatives. But during COVID, this has been really a hard time. It's been 6 months since we've seen her, and just like 3 weeks ago, we did our first window visit with her, and it was extremely disappointing. It was too chilly to come outside, so she was inside. So she was on a phone, we were on our cell phone, but she really couldn't hear us. She hears so much better from a landline. So not only could we hardly hear, there was so much noise in the background, and
The people with the oxygen, the people that deliver oxygen, brought about 15 canisters on wheels, clankety clank behind
us.
Right behind us. It was just like,
So we kind of watched them, and I realized, when we're sitting with her in person, we can kind of half watch TV and talk about what's going on. We can show her pictures on the cell phone. This was a 45-minute visit, and it was really, really long and very unsatisfying. And it made me realize, in fact, she said she didn't care about window visits anymore. We do much better. We might talk even 2 or 3 times a day, just for a short time. When she thinks of something, she'll call. We'll quick talk about it, and it's just upbeat and cheery. And but this is just really hard.
Half the time, it's just me calling.
Yeah, and Tim calls every day to check in, which is really nice. And I talk to her a lot, and she calls a lot. So anyway, it was I just left in such a sad situation, just feeling for all of our isolated elders. This is just such a hard time. So anyway, came home, and I was talking to one of the Back Porch Stampers. That is my private group on Facebook. And Karen Dixon, we were just chatting about some things, and she says, well, Karen, why don't you put her birthday? Because I was thinking about her birthday coming up and how sad this was. Why don't you put that in the Back Porch Stampers? We're always sending birthday cards to each other and anything. And I was like, I hadn't even thought about it. It's my group, and I hadn't even thought about it.
They did it last year when she turned 95, which is a big deal.
2 years ago when she moved into the nursing home.
Oh, okay.
Because she moved in.
Okay.
But it hadn't even crossed my mind, and that's kind of what community is for. So I went on there, and I mentioned that. So on her actual birthday, which was just like 5 days later, Tim took out the first 53 cards that she got. And before you went there, you went to get her favorite treat.
I went to Culver's. All she wanted for her birthday was a kind of like a blizzard. It was like a hot fudge sundae from Culver's, and they do have wonderful, wonderful ice cream.
And it's reminiscent of her childhood because they always made custard.
Custard, yeah.
And so it's just her favorite things.
Eggs and dairy. Anyway, I went, and this young man waited on me. I couldn't go into the cafe. The place was closed down. You had to order outside. You had to pay for it outside. And I told this young man that took my order, I said, this is for my 96-year-old mother-in-law who all she wants for her birthday is a sundae from Culver's. And
double scoop, she even said.
Double scoop with hot fudge on it. And he says, oh, that is so wonderful. This is on us today. And it was.
And how precious. We will just love Culver's for that. It's just a side note that, boy, when you do something kind like that, that story lives on. And we will make a point of going to that that Culver's. But anyway, it just actually made it even more special.
This kid was like maybe a couple years out of high school. He was not the manager, and he had to get manager permission. But it was all on his watch.
So.
Very cool.
That is so cool. So he delivered the cards, and Mom was thrilled. So I'm talking to Mom the next day, and she goes, oh, Karen, I'm just fighting back tears. This is so moving. She says, you wouldn't believe the nice things people say. It's like it's too good to be true. And Karen, did you know some people put their notes on Post-it notes, and it says so that you can reuse the card. Am I supposed to give these back to you? And I just just laughed and said, "No, you don't have to give them back to me." But she just said, "I have them laid out on my bed. I'm only halfway through. I'm just, anyway, this is just such a wonderful thing."
It was.
So 2 days later,
2 days later, I went back with 50 more cards. Seriously.
And that afternoon, I was talking to Debbie Bacon, also from the Back Porch Stampers, and she said, "Karen, why don't you make a map for your mom and then check on every state that she gets a card from?" And I thought, what a great idea. So I did print out a map, and I couldn't see Mom, but I was telling her I was doing this, and she goes, "Oh, Karen, well, I know they're coming from all kinds of states. You just wouldn't believe how long it takes me to go through each card because I have to look at all the details, like where the postmark is from, and it can be hard to read that. That's why I'm just exhausted." So she has cards from 27 states, and I just think that is absolutely just so amazing.
But there's more. Yesterday, I delivered probably 40 more cards.
She goes, "Karen, do you know I have more cards than the years of my life?" Because we were hoping, wouldn't it be fun if she'd get 96 cards? Oh, she's way over that. She's over 150, and she's counting them. She's just loving it. I said, and this extends it. There's still more trickling in. So it's like having a birthday month. And the reason we're telling this story is just never underestimate the power of a card. Just doing something thoughtful for someone. We have just had more fun. And over the phone, she'll tell me who this card is from and do I know this person, we'll talk. But we get to relive it all again when I do get to visit her, and we'll go through the cards one by one again and be doing it together. And I also just wanted, because of that, to do a shout out to my Back Porch Stampers group. It is a group that's open to anyone. So if you're interested, we send birthday cards to each other if you want to join the list. And then when there's a need like this, someone puts on, we do that. And then besides that, we all just share what we're making. So it's just a fun. And, we discuss all things crafting. Sometimes I'll put a question up. Sometimes we do little classes in there. It's just a very fun group. But I also just wanted to thank the people in the group that I was talking to that helped me kind of make this memorable, how I wasn't even thinking clearly about what I could do to make this special. So just a note, think of all those, especially anyone who is really alone and all the elderly people who really can't have visitors and can't see family. We don't know when this is going to end, but may we also learn from this, and when things do change again, to keep sending cards. I said it is a gift that keeps on giving. So thanks.
And there was cards from people that watch us that are not a part of this group that we've never talked to them before. It's just wonderful.
And I'll just say, we did open them first because we needed to slice them. When I open cards from viewers on my Thursday Live, I don't ever look at them. But we did look at these because I put them upright in the envelope so she could do it. So Tim was doing that, and he'd keep coming in. "Do you know this person? Do you know this person? And this name sounds familiar." And I thought, so also the pleasure we have gotten out of doing all this.
But Karen doesn't read all the cards that come on a regular basis, but no. I do.
Tim does. He always does it. He does his sneak peek, and he always comes out and shows me if it's somebody that he knows, if he name he knows, or if it's a card that he's just wondering how in the world they did this. So anyway, all about the pleasure of cards. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.